What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru, and today I want to talk about Animal Crossing. So I feel like this video needs to be done. I feel like there is a lot of misinformation getting out there, misunderstanding, anger, and such. And I feel like as someone that has loved Animal Crossing from the first time I played it on the GameCube to enjoyed it with Wild World, enjoyed it on City Folk, loved it again on New Leaf, I feel like this is the game that I've been waiting for a very long time, and people are angry, and people are upset about a game that, they don't really understand completely. So I want to kind of try to explain a few things that I feel like need to be explained. And so let's just jump into it. Why is there no cross-save? And technology-wise, the technological side of it, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how script works. I don't know how code works. I don't know how none of that stuff works. So I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that it should work, that there's no reason why it shouldn't work, that it is
2020 and it should work.
I know this. This is what I know from New Leaf. And what I know from New Leaf is the fact that there was two forms of hacking in New Leaf that were done. One was called duping, the other was called power saves. And that is ultimately what Nintendo is trying to stop. Since the internet came around, Nintendo has had a real problem with hacking in terms of, on Wild World, people actually broke other people's towns in Wild World. In City Folk, people actually ate up DLC spots that Nintendo had set aside to give people items throughout the year. So if you got one of these cool DLC hacks, which was like a lightsaber, like everybody wanted a lightsaber. If you got one of these, it automatically filled an existing DLC spot that Nintendo had set up to give people free content throughout the year, which caused problems for Nintendo. That's a second situation. But with New Leaf in its own right, there was duping and power save. So what is duping? People don't understand what that is. And in a nutshell, this is what it is. It is when you had the 3DS, there was a Wi-Fi button on it where you could turn off the Wi-Fi like that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. At any given time, I could click a button, shut the Wi-Fi down on it. So what would happen is, I would do a trade, or I would initiate a trade with a friend. The friend would come to town, and they would take the item and drop it on the ground. I would pick said item up. Now, it is my item. You have yours. As you go to exit the town, a little Wi-Fi meter, a little clock would pop up and count down, basically you leaving the town. Basically, it's how the internet works, right? Like when you go to a website, a little hourglass used to pop up and show you how much time those things were loading. Things are a lot quicker now, so we don't get it as much. But Nintendo has this set up where as you're leaving and exiting, the gates are closing and the Wi-Fi shutting down. At a certain particular time, if you timed it right, you would turn the Wi-Fi off and it would automatically shut down the internet. You would then have to reboot your system. They would have to do a reboot. And when you came back to the town, both people had the item that you traded. Now you look at that and you go like, so what? So what? Here's where the problem came in. The problem came in where people actually started utilizing Facebook. And they would go and get an item like a crown. A crown is 1,000,000 bells. And in Animal Crossing terms, it is not easy to come up with 1,000,000 bells. A lot of people struggle to get 1,000,000 bells. But what would happen is people would actually go and dupe a bunch of crowns and have a boatload of them. And then they would go into Facebook groups and sell them or auction them for quite a bit of money. Because not only is it that the item is very expensive, it might be that you just don't see it. It's a rare item, it's hard to come by. So it just doesn't show up in your stores. So what was happening was people were going and turning around and selling these items at high value market and then basically ripping off a bunch of young kids. So that was problem number one that Nintendo saw. The other thing that was really crazy was the selling of animals, selling of villagers. And what happened in New Leaf was, let's say that I had Julian, which Julian is the unicorn that those that don't know, but that's what Julian is. Very new, very difficult to come by, just randomly shows up occasionally. Well, people didn't want to wait for Julian to just show up. People wanted Julian, but there was a way to get Julian. So let's say Julian is in my town. Julian is there, and he decides that he wants to move away. He goes in what in the New Leaf community was called boxes. So once Julian was in boxes, the next person that came to town could talk to Julian, and Julian would agree to move to said person's town. What would essentially happen at that point was somebody would see Julian in boxes and then go to a Facebook group and go, Julian is in boxes, starting the bid at 10 million bells. We're going to keep the auction going for an hour, and after the hour, whoever has the highest bid will win and get to come to town and talk to Julian and take him. No harm, no foul. Seems okay, right? These animals were going for 30, 50, 60 million bells at a clip. Nobody even saw it coming. But what people were doing was power saves. And what power saves was kind of like cloud saves. You would save your system, do whatever you wanted to do to your town, and then you could revert the save back to the last major save that you had. So now you come, I hold this auction, you give me 50 million bells, I give you Julian, you go away, and then guess what? I power save back to the beginning where Julian's in boxes, and I go to the next Facebook group and I auction them off again. And then I go to the next Facebook group. What was happening was young children were getting frustrated and ripped off, and Nintendo was like, we need to stop this. To me, that is the reasoning behind, because they came out at E3 and said we are not going to allow cloud saves because of hackers and such. Cheaters is the term I think they actually used. So essentially, that is the reasoning behind it. So what does cloud save have to do with that? Well, the way that Nintendo works their cloud save is, until I initiate a backup, it may not overwrite. So I could turn around and have my Switch here, play on it, get rid of Julian, and then go to my Switch Lite on the shelf over there, reinstall my last save point, and do it all over again, eliminating the cheating and the power saves per se. I get why Nintendo was doing this. And this is why when people are turning around to Nintendo fans going like, I don't understand why you're giving them a free pass on this. I don't understand why you're allowing this. Because we understand the dynamics of Animal Crossing and where the cheating comes into play. And I am okay if this is what they want to do to stop the cheating. Now, there are people that will say this next. Well, why won't they allow you to just transfer from console to console? Like Splatoon 2 does, like Pokemon does, and that I'm not sure about. But I think it has a lot to do with they have this new system in place that they want to do, and that's what they want to offer to people. I'm not okay with not being able to transfer from console to console. I get that. I understand that. But that's where people are upset. And for me, and I think it's a twofold problem. There are people that are trying to convince people that Nintendo fans are the problem. Nintendo fans are the bad guys because we don't get up in arms about this stuff. But I think it's Nintendo fans that understand how Animal Crossing works, that they're not getting upset about it. Is it the end of the world? No. Does it suck? Yes. Is it the worst case scenario in the world? No. Because at the end of the day, when you talk to 90% of Nintendo fans, 90% of Animal Crossing fans, they just want Animal Crossing. And that's all it boils down to. That's what they are focused on, that's what they are looking at, and that's all they care about. You who have not played Animal Crossing before, or you who has put a little bit of time into Animal Crossing, who is up in arms and mad about these things, you're not going to convince people that have been wanting this new game for 8 years to get mad. It is what it is. And as much as you want to get up in arms and mad about it, I'm not holding that against you. If you want to do that, if that's how you want to spend your time, then more power to you. But then don't turn it on me and look at me and go, why aren't you mad? You're the problem. I'm not the problem. The problem is that the cheaters and the hackers have created this system that Nintendo is trying to close the loophole on. You may not agree with it, you may not abide by it, you may say that I am crazy or that I am stupid, and that is your opinion, and that is fine. You're entitled to that opinion. But at the end of the day, Nintendo fans, Animal Crossing fans, only care about one thing: playing Animal Crossing. That's all they want. They want to play it right, they want to play it fair, and they just want to be happy playing it. They don't want to feel like they're being ripped off. They don't want to feel like they're being cheated. And yes, you just don't have to deal with them. I get it. Just like you don't have to buy the game. But I promise you, a lot of people will buy this game. A lot of people will love this game. The answers aren't all here. It is not the perfect system. But to expect people to understand it when we haven't even gotten the information yet, let's just let the information come out. We haven't got a Nintendo Direct. We haven't got any answers from Nintendo. Can we just calm down? Can we just wait a second? Can we just put a pause on things? People are so looking to issue clickbait, to be the coolest person that dunks on Nintendo on Twitter. It's just got to stop. Let's just let it go. Let people enjoy what they enjoy. Have fun with what they have fun with. And if you're not upset, rather than just screaming into the void, actually at Nintendo, at Doug Bowser. Tell them what you're upset about. Don't just throw it at Nintendo fans and call them idiots and call them stupid, or just wait until Nintendo tells you exactly what they're going to do, and then once it's done, make your decision. But at the end of the day, the same people that I feel like are upset here were upset with Pokemon. The same people that were upset with Pokemon were not happy with the way Luigi's Mansion, some things were done with that. The same people that were upset there weren't happy with Mario Maker, were the same people that are tired of the ports. It's the same angry, upset people that continue to just bash and attack. And my feeling is maybe you need to look at yourself in the mirror and look at your life in the mirror and find out why you're truly upset. Because if you're getting this hostile and this mad over a video game, there's something deeper working for you or against you, and you might want to take a look at that. But that said, neither here nor there. There are a good group of people that are honestly, truthfully, just upset because they didn't know about the information, they didn't understand the information. I get it. I'm not telling you you don't have a right to be upset. You do. What I'm telling you that you don't have the right to is to attack people that aren't upset, and vice versa. It just seems silly that we have this game going on where it's like, well, you're not mad, you're the problem. Well, you're mad, you're the problem. Nobody's the problem. Let's just all relax and let's just enjoy what we're doing here. So that is all. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please slap the like button down below, share it with your friends. Remember, every Friday from here until the end of the month, the end of March, we're going to be doing Breaking Bells Live over on Twitch. We're bringing in different YouTubers, different podcasters. We're sitting down with them. We're talking about their Animal Crossing memories. We're having a good time. We're going to try to continue this after the launch of New Horizons. Please check us out over on Twitch when that all happens. We're also doing the giveaway. We're giving away a Switch, the Animal Crossing Switch. We're giving it away. Go check out my Twitter to find out the details on it. That is all. Peace out, Preston.